Alright guys, I went ahead and wired in the additional battery. So now it's got 2100 milliamp hours instead of 1000 that the PM battery has stock. So it's basically doubled now, and now we can power the GP5 and the Chocalate from that battery. That battery is wired into this USB loop that goes from here. This is a female to the Chocalate and the USB-C, right? So that goes, the com goes straight through, but the 5 volt signal wires go to the battery, and then that feeds to the input side of the switch, and then normally open goes to the 5 volt leads going into the USB-C of the Chocalate. So this gives power to the GP5. Right? Now we can power the Chocalate on. PM. Alright, turn the Bluetooth on. Alright, so now oh, there we go. Alright, so there's my effects 1, effects 2, and then my delay reverb. Now I can descend my list, extend, so that works good for you're doing different amps. And then you can run your IR block here, and then you can put your volume pedal in between the two, and then you keep your tails on your timed effects, which you can't do on either one of them without each other. And then you have access to the tuner, and then the looper, right? So now you have a full-blown multi-effects unit for what, I don't know, $150 altogether. That has an onboard battery. That's pretty hard to beat. So it looks like in the back. There's the access hole, and then the USB-C for programming the Chocalate. And now you got a power button to turn the GP5 on and off. And then, of course, the PM is your battery management system, and it gives you a battery level indicator. Welcome to the third dimension. I'm Matt. Alright, so this is part 2 of the GP5 Pockat Master or Pocket Tray build here. On this one, we're going to install the remote battery to make it fully battery powered, and also add the foot switches for the Pockat Master to replace the soft buttons. So you have actual foot switches, and then that'll open up the looper. So, and then while I'm at it, I'm gonna upgrade mine with the orange covers. This is Pet G carbon fiber orange, and I think they turned out really nice. There is a blue that I want to try, that I think will look equally as nice, and then of course I'm gonna go to black. These here are PLA. So, and generally I only prototype using PLA, and I generally don't offer a product using that filament unless it doesn't require it to have any integrity. And basically the top on this doesn't other than where you're gonna be pressing them on the foot switches, but that is reinforced with the carbon fiber PET G that's underneath it anyway. But the housings are PET G carbon fiber, and then of course the tops will from now on be PET G. And then yeah, the last video I probably should have replaced the prototype. That cover here was done on my Ender, and that printer has seen better days. Um, so that one wasn't so pretty. This was done on the Alegu. I have a hard time pronouncing that. Um, but yeah, as you can see, that does a lot better job. And then also we have the Sobel SVO8 for doing larger stuff. I'll be doing a guitar later on. It's gonna be pretty cool. And yeah, next we'll be doing wood tops. I have the Fox Alien S3 Pro with the 40-watt laser upgrade and other bells and whistles I got for it. So that's capable of cutting out wood tops, and then so we can probably do custom stuff with that. So that's going to be an option. And of course, there's somebody who car learn. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, and we'll probably do the cover here too in wood. So that's going to be upcoming. But we need support now, so don't wait for that. Maybe I'll sell the lids separately. Um, so anyways, first things first, I'm gonna get the top off this and get the PM out, and so I can get the back off of it. I'll set this aside. This is the one I'm gonna install on my unit, and as you see, I um did the font in black, and it's just a fine paint marker I used. If you get if you get a little sloppy with it, you can always sand it off. Um, I did actually sand this, so I don't know if you can see any difference. So yeah, you can clean that up. When I do get the uh the multicolor printing add-on, then I'll do that then. But I'm not gonna manually change filaments out just because it's just not viable. All right, so let's get this apart. All right, guys. So I got the iron heating up. So while we're waiting for that, we're gonna knock the holes out. And if you look on the bag, you have to look kind of close, but you'll see the circles. And what we're gonna do is what that is. That's a support. So you should be able to get a screwdriver and get in there and pop them out. So right. All right, guys, we're back. All right, so I got a half-inch drill here, and I got a board underneath here. We're gonna very carefully. I'm gonna go all the way through. Now, if you don't do this, it could like it'll like thread itself through it and it'll break this thing apart. So you want to make sure you got good downforce on it. All right, so now we're should be good. I'll clean the holes up. And you can't even tell I broke it. Or at least I can't. I guess I might need a new prescription with my glasses. I don't know. All right, so clean this up. All right, so now um, we can install our switch, and of course I don't have the nut for it here. All right, I'm back. All right, so there's rubber O-rings that come with these switches. Um, Unless you plan on jamming out in the rain, you probably don't need to install that. But if you're play guitar and you got a leftover washer, that might come in handy for if you don't trust this. All right, so there's our power switch. All right, so now we can install our foot switches. All right. Okay, now the red wire is not the positive. It is the positive to the LED ring, but it's not the power supply in. That could be either or, um, the green or the yellow, and then black is your ground. But this is the power to the LED, so when you turn this on, you're gonna want to have this to the other leg of the power. So you have battery coming in on one side, it could be the green or yellow, it don't matter. But whatever the opposing side is, you're gonna hook that to your red wire, and that will turn the LED on and off. Okay, so um, soldering iron is hot, and what we're gonna do. Oh yeah, turns out this larger size JST plug is actually the size that we need for the PM. So that's a big huge bonus right there. Was thinking that it was a smaller size for some reason, unless they changed it, because I don't remember that battery being that big on my first versions. All right, so I'm gonna use the male ends, and I'm gonna leave them alone because I can always talk access inside the board, and I find it easier to solder because you don't want to be soldering in that mess. All right. So what we're gonna do is pre-tin the our leads here. All right. So what you're gonna want, make sure make sure you have a tinny tin your end of your right. All right. So now what I do my solder. Where are we at here? So I'm gonna scoot my chair over a little bit. Right? You don't gotta be like a pro at this. This is fairly easy to do. It's really all about having your tip clean and tinned. Okay. So now set these aside. I actually got a little thing that holds the wires for doing what I was just doing. All right, so It doesn't matter. I mean, all this is just completing the circuit, so it doesn't matter what angle is to what. But all I'm gonna do is just kind of position that over that and just hit it with and that's it. Oh, but you see where it's touching that pad? I gotta get that over there. Not a biggie. That was simple. All right, so I'm gonna go the other side because it's just easier. And then probably give myself too much wire. All right, so that's good and secure, right? No, I don't got quite enough solder on there. Nice, they but all right, I think we got it. All right, before I go any further, I'm gonna plug the battery in and turn it back on. Oh, I got the screen out there. Let's set this aside so I don't burn nothing. This is a bit tricky doing it with the screen in. You may want to take this out just to make life easier. Um, but you know, yours should be a successful. This isn't rocket science or anything. Uh, Turn this on. Oh, all right. So this is the top, and I would be backwards, right? So that's wrong. Okay, so screen should be facing you when you're plugging it in. It wouldn't hurt anything if I powered it on because the contacts would just be to the opposite side. All right, so you can see. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I hit the reset button. Oh, great. Now I gotta reboot it. Redo all my firmware. All right, everything's golden. Power. Oh, all right, so it's powered down. Screen back out so I don't damage it. And then I'll take the battery back out. Uh, Actually, the battery that I'm replacing this with is only 100 milliamp hours more. Rough- Yeah, this is 1,000, and the other one's 1,100. So I think what I'm gonna do is just add these two together because since they're pretty comparable in amp hours, so I'm actually just gonna add the other one in to give it longer runtime. So now you have dual batteries. So this just got better as we went. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done, well, other than these switches, I've done probably four of them now. But, as you can see, it wasn't really all that hard. All right, so now what we're gonna do is wire in the foot switches, and then we'll do a quick test. Um, get the iron back over here, and what I'm gonna do is set it like so. Kind of helps to have like a um some wet cloth to wipe the tin off. Just like that, right? All right, so now I'm gonna flip it. Just like that, right? All right, so now we got our two females, or no, the males. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside real quick. And we'll trim these tips. We're kind of going on top. Do the next one. You see how shaky I am? So if I can do this, you can do this. Alright, so now it's just a matter of holding that on there and just make a one. Alright, so I'm done with this thing. I think. Alright, so now, yeah, we'll power the PM. Probably gonna check the screen back out. Oops. So let the smoke out. Oh, probably help if I plug the battery back in. What do I do with it? Aha, there it is. I heard something. The shit changing? We're in a looper, recording, tuner. So that's what we wanted. So now we got access to that stuff now. Besides having the chocolate plus the yeah, so we got a pretty functional modeler here. We getting comments on why you want to do this. Well, for one, it's I'm not saying go buy this stuff to make this pedal. It's for people that have the gear already existing that wanna something rather than building an ugly pedal board that you can't that it's kind of cumbersome to put in a gear bag where this is all tidied up. It's gonna add a battery to it. It adds the foot switches. It's all integrated, and basically it turns this thing into a pretty decent modeler. So why wouldn't you? Because like these are inferior to like the GP200 or something. Actually, I think this is more functional than the GP200. And not to mention, if I want to change this up later, and maybe they come up with a new Pockat Master or whatever, or like Valton the GP50 or whatever. Maybe I want to do that instead. I can throw that away. I'm not throwing my GP5 away or whatever. You know what I mean? So now I have options. I'm not like stuck with this all-in-one unit. All right, so next step is wiring our batteries together. All right, so how? Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to grab the unit because I have my USB wire, um, white, glued in. So I'm gonna have to do it with the cable in the unit. Oh, it's right here actually. I got too much junk up here. And that's something I need to test. That's all. That's a bit of a problem. It's not a problem that I can't solve though. All right, so what I'm gonna have to do is replace. this USB connector with a different one because it sticks out too far and it interferes with the switch, and we can't move the switch. And I did see that comment. Kind of sucks is it's like I'm off grid here, so that's my inverter. Um, Finding that female connector. I couldn't find the female connector with a 90, the appropriate 90 that I needed, and it, it's this big long end here. So I'm gonna get a USB cable I can scrap basically to make this make a new end, and then we'll combine it. All right, so let me find that, and then we'll come back. All right, back again. All right, so I found a cable, but it ended up being a charging cable only. It's only got two wires, so that one's junk now. All right, so this is a data cable, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strip off the housing. All right, so we got the shielding there. I'm not too worried about that. This is only doing MIDI stuff, so. All right, so you got your two red wires, or your red and black. That's your 5 volt, or yeah, 5 volt signal. Shielding's gonna go to ground, and then your comms. All right, so now on this side, we should have the same deal. So what I'm gonna do is let's take the GP5 out. And this will help make some room in here too. So I'm gonna cut this like completely off. This is a pretty good quality cable. So I got the red, black, and then we got a green and white. And then honestly, I have no clue what the rest of these wires are for. Let me research that real quick. Okay, we're back. All right, so I looked it up, and this is for what did it say? Hold on. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can. I'm using OSB, but it's for like USB 3.1 is what these wires are for. So basically, what we're gonna do is simply cut them. But don't cut you need the white and green, and then your bolts. And I'm gonna stagger them. Might be a good idea to put some shrink wrap around them, or just get a female that's not USB 3.0 or whatever. All right, so we're ready for that. And then this is our other end, and then this is gonna go um, here, but we're not gonna wire this. I'm just gonna do a test fit and just kind of tuck this stuff in here in a minute. Make sure everything fits. All right, so I got plenty of room. It's gonna work. The things we do to DIY stuff. Alright, so let me get that out of my way. I'm gonna pull this guy out of here too, if that's possible. Oh, I super glued it. So we can always put it back later. This I can't because it's glued. Alright, so first thing we're gonna do is recombine these guys. There's nothing else special we gotta do there. Actually, I should look up where that shield should go. I think this goes up, is gonna go to the battery ground, but it could go to the comm ground too. Alright, so let me look that up real quick. Alright, so that does go to the battery ground, but I'm gonna twist it around the comm wires, and again, make sure that that's unplugged when we wire this. I'm gonna plug it in just so I can get my links the same. And I'm gonna kind of tuck that, because there's room right here. Get that out of my way. There's room down here to tuck these wires, so that's what I'm gonna do is cut it to about that length. That's probably good enough. I mean, this application isn't anything special, so it's just programming the chocolate. Make sure I have enough. Sorry to have a little extra. But this shielding wire needs to come back to on the ground. What to do is core it without cutting the wire, cutting through the wire. Alright, so I got them cut. Now I got this little block. Probably best to solder this, but trying to make this um so that anybody can do it. I know a lot of people aren't comfortable with soldering, and this right here is the simplest solution that I could think of because we're dealing with such tiny wires. Just make sure you don't have wires touching, and especially if you plug this into an expensive PC like the one I have there, it could be very bad. Probably just fry the USB port, but I got one little wire that's a bit too long. I'll cut that. Alright. Oh shoot. I did do that, and here's the thing, is the chocolate has a battery in it and it's live. Just because it's off, that doesn't mean that it's not feeding them these lines. Oh, I think I did cut that with it unplugged, so but yeah, I want to have it unplugged for now. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the ground. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some zip ties and zip tie that so it's not fighting me. Alright, so I'm back. Alright, so I'm gonna put this back in just for a minute. You might route all these wires along the USB out for in, out. Alright, so that's what it looks like now. Alright, so now I'm gonna unplug that and my wire shouldn't move. And we'll see if we can blow this thing up. So everything's the same length now. Now we're gonna strip our power wires. And then we're gonna add our power wire to the PM, and we may have to, or at least on my rig here, we have to cut some strands to get everything to fit in that terminal block. We're gonna be combining all these wires together. Alright, so now on the battery, very important, cut one leg at a time, and you should probably do like one at a time. And I'm gonna stack these batteries wherever the other one went. So yeah, don't just snip them together. You'll short the battery out. Have y'all seen the memes of the guy robbing the copper out of the power mains? Alright, so I'm just gonna leave that alone so I don't cross my wires. And then strip the wire here. And then yeah. Alright, got it. Alright, so now don't forget it. You got the switch here. Alright, so the grounds are all gonna go together. Oh, I didn't get this one. Okay. Alright, so um this still won't require soldering, but unfortunately I don't have the right size of these. These are ferrules. If you had a little bit larger size than this, I have no idea. Looks like about a 50,000, 60 thousandths ID. Need a little bit more than that, I would say. Uh, Yeah, definitely. It looks smaller than a 16th to me, so um, you need a larger one. So what I did is I just cut off a spade terminal. Um, but I seem to have lost it already. I set it down for a minute to grab my coffee. All right, so I guess what I'll do is, um, oh, I know what I did. I got it in my pliers. So all it is I'll show you. You know, if you got a ring terminal or a fork like that, all you do is just pop it off. You got a butt splice. Oh, stop it! Yeah, sorry, I'm draining so bad. All right, so I got to get my other wire here ready to combine with all these. You need like 4 hands to do this, and good eyes. So I don't like it when it don't get all the wires in there. Right. Well, what I'm gonna do is put some heat shrink on that. Let's see here. I just had it. All right, guys. I have no idea what just happened, but I was recording and went down to get some heat shrink, and I lost all the video afterwards. So we have to do a little reverse engineering here to show you exactly what I did. Kind of sucks as I'm not even sure where I left off. All right, so get them wires out of there. All right, so this is to the Pockat Master USB-C from the chocolate. So I just removed that real quick. All right, so um you're gonna have what I have here is the green and white wires. We cut it, but we just resplice them back together. So it's straightforward, right? And then I use the terminal block to do that. But if you have the ferrules, like I was showing you, use the ferrules for that, and then heat shrink. You know, use it's gonna be DIY, so you use whatever you have. I'm trying to. The idea here is to try to do this without soldering it together, because not everybody's want everybody to be able to do this, and not everybody can solder. I mean, the switches are optional. If you don't feel comfortable soldering to that board in here, then don't do it, you know? Don't add the switches, you know? And all you're doing is adding a looper and a tuner and whatever else, you know? Preset switching. But usually, you know, if you're doing um a setup, you're just gonna run that one setup, and like we do another song that requires something different, you can just, you know, bend down and switch it, right? So it's not a big deal. But if you can solder, then yeah, man, I highly recommend adding the switches. Okay, so your two batteries, you're gonna combine them into together into that lead that plugs into the PM, right? And then I was showing you, I think the ground one is cut off. So what I gotta show you now is the positive. Right, so the wire coming in, your positive wire coming in from the this terminal is going to get wired in with the batteries, right? Let's think here. Is that how I got that? Yeah. Let's yes. Okay, so you got your two batteries wired together, the lead going to that plugs into the PM, positive, and then I use the green wire, but you could use the yellow, doesn't matter. If you use the yellow, then your green and red will go together, and then this wire goes to the USB plug. That's the see the USB plug here. So that's the other side of the switch. So when you make the switch in, it completes the circuit between the yellow and the green, right? So it doesn't matter which side you go in, as long as the other side is connected to the your red wires. And then this wire goes to the USB that plugs into the chocolate um to complete the circuit. So And then what I did is I put the batteries underneath right here. That was a good spot for them. Right, so now I got it all messed up. I'll probably never be able to get it the same now. And then, oh yeah, and then what I did is I just used butt connectors and then got some heat shrink. You can get all this stuff on Amazon, you know. So whatever you have at your means, like I said, I'll probably end up um pre-building some of these wiring harnesses. I don't know. I want to try to stay away from that. So yeah, I had this all nice and neat. But so you got plenty. Yeah, you actually got a good room. You might want to hot glue them batteries down, and they fit in there just fine. But now I got to get this out of the way. It's not in there wiggling. Oh, I see what's going on. Um, there's a boss right here. Yeah, make sure you don't have any wires sitting on riding on top of that. I'm put that one in first. It just really seems like forced. That feels a lot better. I think I got it. There. Yeah, that's better. All right, so let's see if the GP5 comes on. Oh no, that's weird. Does the PM need to be on? I didn't have the USB came unplugged. Freaking great. Yeah, that's all it was. So yeah, no cords. And then chocolate, turn that on. Turn the PM back on. All right, so we got the battery meter now. I got a full battery. I wish this camera would adjust. So it's kind of blurry. So I got D, C, that's A. So it's all independent. And then you gotta turn Bluetooth on, of course. So that's my delay reverb, effect 2, and then effects 1, effects 2, delay reverb, D, A, B, C, D. So, yep. So now you turn that off. You can get your finger in there. You turn the chocolate off. And then stop it. Now the battery's charging. So the PM can control charge the battery for the whole thing. So yeah, I mean, to those that wonder why you'd want to do this, this is why. um, this is a that's a full blown multi effects modeler that's got a built in battery. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do this, right? And it's clean. It'll fit in your gig bag. You're not gonna have to worry about a power supply. It's gonna be interesting to see how long those two batteries last. But yeah, they fit nicely underneath the Pocket Master, so I definitely recommend doing that. And then leaving that for your cords and stuff. And plus, you can route underneath here. So yeah, I think anybody can do that. Have to figure out maybe if there's any electricians out there that can do a schematic for me. Whip out a schematic and that we can put on the website, and then something that everybody can understand. And then yeah, we'll have a winner here. All right, guys. Again, I appreciate you for watching and hanging with me this long, and we'll see you in the next one.